On this program, we let you in on everything that is going on in Cross River State, in the private sector, the political landscape, and everything that has to do with governance in Cross River State. Today, we'll be taking a critical look at the Senator Prince Bassey led administration, all that has been done, and of course, and all the assignment that the governor has given out to people to carry out situational analysis on how we can better position this government. I have here with me my father, Fidelis Ogbo, who has been part and parcel of the process at all levels, and he has been a member of the transition committee as well, and of course transition review committee was the chairman, and today is piloting the affairs of different aspects of governance in this very dispensation. Yeah, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let's talk about your role. Your role from the very beginning. You've been there from the beginning. Would you say that your transition committee got it right? Would you say that your review committee got it right? What is your thoughts concerning your specific role so far in this dispensation?
Yeah, thank you very much. We had a very compact transition committee assignment.
Okay.
Which took us just about 10 days. It wasn't enough, but under the circumstances we found ourselves, we were able to do our best to put a document which captured the essence, the dividing line between the former administration and the takeoff point for the new administration, the present administration.
Okay.
We were able to achieve that. But the new administration, in the wisdom of His Excellency, felt that there will be need for a review.
Okay.
And that review should be able to take care of things that were not thought about. And we had to do a review, which I was the chairman. Luckily, I was made the chairman, because from my experience in the previous assignment, it impacted on the new assignment or review.
Okay, so in the transition committee, what were you? The secretary?
Yeah, in the transition committee, I was the secretary.
Okay.
And in the
review committee,
I was the chairman.
Okay.
So I had all the background knowledge to be able to enrich the report.
Right.
And indeed, this helped us a great deal, because it puts me in a position where I could preview every aspect of governance in the state. And we took a critical look at everything that the transition committee did, and then we came up with suggestions which we thought would help the new government to take off properly. And we put a document together. We did a very comprehensive work. We looked at industries, we looked at every aspect of transactions that were carried out, and what we can do to remove any possibility of a conflict with anybody. Yeah, a lot of people had the wrong impression that maybe we are doing the work of witch hunting. There was nothing like that. What we were trying to do is to see how we can reduce conflict in governance and create an enabling environment for the new administration to take off. That is what we did. Okay. We did that successfully.
That's interesting. But some people are still saying that there were no proper handover notes.
Well,
is there any truth in that?
Well, I don't know what you mean by no proper handover notes. If I was secretary of the transition committee and I became chairman of the review committee, was that not a handover enough?
That's for naysayers.
Yes.
We will see white and say it's red. All right, so let's go further to talk about this dispensation. I know that all the situational analysis is a background to getting it right. All right, so what would you say Senator Bassey has done so far?
I want to first and foremost commend Senator Prince Bassey, the executive governor of Cross River State. He has started well. And how do you start well in a journey of 1,000 miles? Is to prepare for the journey. He has been doing a lot of preparatory work in all the sectors. People are not able to appreciate what he's doing until when the implementation plan he has for Cross River State begins.
Okay.
This state, as we speak, there is a group which is carrying out the soil test of the entire state.
Wow.
To determine which crop can be planted where and all that. He felt that it is necessary to support his agricultural revolution that he wants to introduce. So they are working on that, and that will come up. He thought that certain rules and regulations in governance have become archaic and there is need to review. That's why he came up with a 15-man committee, which fortunately again I am going to chair, that we should review certain policies and extant rules of the civil service.
Okay.
So that civil servants will no longer find themselves neither here nor there.
Okay.
There is a difference between a public servant and a civil servant.
Sure.
But most of the time, because we do not understand this, we mix the two. We think a civil servant can also be a public servant.
Okay.
And in the last administration, there were people who were both civil servants and public servants. And it is wrong in the civil service rule. So we need to correct those ones. So that if we are talking about civil servants, we know the people we are talking about.
Okay.
And if we are talking about public servants, we know the category of persons we are talking about. So he has done very well. He has positioned the state. We are getting ready to take off full blast. So if anybody thinks that, oh, some things have been a bit quiet because the budget that he made is not a budget he can use to implement his own programs. He needs to look at what has been going on, and that has been done. We've carried out a very comprehensive review of every activity of government during the last administration and what he needs to do. He has already set up his priorities, the areas he needs to focus, and those areas he needs to invite the private sector to come and make a contribution. Because governance is a collective responsibility. So that has been done, and to that extent, I will score Prince Bassey, the governor of Cross River State, very, very high.
What's the percentage? Specific percentage?
Well, in terms of percentage, nobody scores 100% in the management of human beings.
Okay.
So I will say that so far I will give him 75%.
75%. That's interesting. If you are just joining us, the program remains Inside Cross River. We have here Tofa Fidel Sogo. He has been a lot of things in Cross River State, former Secretary to State Government. He's been the chairman, Transition Review Committee, and at all levels he has played key roles. Of course, he was the secretary of the Transition Committee in the Ben Idele administration. All right, so let's look at you in particular. You've been consistently playing these key roles. What exactly have you brought to the table? And what are you still going to bring to the table in this specific assignment that you've been assigned to do presently?
Well, nobody will invite somebody who has nothing to bring to the table to come and make a contribution.
Okay.
The experience I have gathered, between 1996 and 1999, I was Commissioner for Finance, Budget and Planning across the country.
Okay.
I was a director in the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Wow.
I left the Central Bank as a director, and I have worked at the federal level. I was in charge of national planning. I was also the secretary of National Economic Council,
Wow.
a council that comprised all the governors of the 36 states and the FCT, where decisions that affect the nation are taken. And from all that experience, if anybody finds me worthy to come and carry out a particular assignment, they are looking at all this background experience that I've gathered over the years, which is believed I will bring it to add value to whatever assignment I am given.
Okay.
And I want to say, without being boastful, that I have done justice in any assignment that I'm giving. I have brought value and I brought style and I have brought finalists to whatever I'm given to do.
Okay.
And I am believing that now the new assignment of reviewing certain policies and extant laws, we are also going to come up with something that is going to be very interesting for perseverance.
Right.
I'll give you a tip. Before now, the civil service was run through analog system. But today, we have information and communication technology which drives processes of governance. We do not have a policy on ICT in Cross River State. We are going to have a policy on ICT and also a policy on e-governance.
Okay.
Because it is e-governance that drives processes now.
Sure.
When you are talking about cutting down the cost of governance, you must embrace e-governance. So we must have a policy that guides us on that. Once we do that, we will put the government in a position that they can drive processes by the modern ways that things are done globally.
All right.
So we are going to get into the global arena through the reforms and the recommendations we are going to make. Okay. Yes, and Cross River State, as we speak, I was just told shortly that Cross River State won the best website of any state in Nigeria. They won that award, given by NIDA.
Okay.
Cross River State won.
Okay.
So we are starting on a very good note, and we want to maintain that momentum to see that we score first. Of course, we know Cross River State has been a state that scores first at all times.
Yeah.
Yes. The first capital of Nigeria.
Sure.
The first Inspector General of Police. The first is the first street party in Africa. The Calabar Carnival, and the first of everything. Right. So we want to maintain our first.
Okay.
So we are here to fortify that move to continue to be the first.
All right, so I want to ask you a very personal question. I've been wondering, this is a question that any other person out there will be asking themselves.
Yes.
You are from Cross River North, and we expected to see this sort of support and solidarity for the previous administration, immediate past administration, that happens to be your brother from the North.
Yes.
But we never saw you anywhere. But you've been very tenacious in supporting the process in this dispensation. What made that difference?
Well, I am not, everybody has the persons he considers relevant that will add value to whatever he or she is doing.
Okay.
If the previous administration found my experience worthy of tapping, they would have invited me, and I will not say no. I was available for everybody.
Okay.
That is why I was when I was invited to be part of the transition committee, I was here and I did my best. So the present administration felt that I have a lot to offer. Okay. So they have constantly invited me for one thing or the other, and I will never say no because this is my state. Okay. I have no other state apart from Cross River.
All right.
Thank you.
So we are still here on the program Inside Cross River, and I have here with me Ntofan Fidali. He's a thorough administrator. He has been part of the process at the local government, state, and national levels on all ramifications. And we are talking Cross River. How can we reposition Cross River? In spite of planning, in spite of implementation, what else should be done? That's what we are here to reveal what is going on in this dispensation and how the people can have a buying, made decision of sweetness, comprehensive. All right, so let's talk about the mantra, the people's first.
Yes.
Now the people are first, according to the mantra. That should be self-explanatory. But looking at it politically, what does it mean for the people to come first in the dispensation?
The implication of people's first government is that whatever decisions the government is to take, it must consider the welfare of the people first.
Okay.
The welfare of Cross Riverians must come first. The welfare of the citizens of Cross River State must come first in every policy direction that the present administration is going to take.
All right.
That is the practical implication of people's first. Whichever policy, whichever program, whichever pronouncement that is made by government, the people will first be considered. The welfare of the people will be paramount.
All right, so based on your own experience and your own personal standpoint, would you say the actions so far have been in tandem with the mantra?
Definitely. I've told you, if I give you, we talked about agriculture, I told you that a firm is, a consultant is already doing soil analysis across the entire state. Why is he doing that? Cross River State is an agrarian state. Our farmers have been farming over the years, and we are thinking, how can we improve their yield? They must improve on their agricultural practices. They can only do that if they have information as to what they should do and what they should not do. If they have information on the type of crops they should plant in a particular soil or not, that is the only way we can improve our yield. So that is being done. What does that speak to us? It speaks to us that he's thinking of the farmers, people first.
Sure.
He has also engaged, the current administration has also engaged a consultant to organize small and medium enterprises across the state. People who are doing small businesses, the women that are frying akara on the street, we want to organize them and bring them into a group where they can have a voice.
Sure.
You know, when you say when you run alone, you will not get far, but when you move with people, you go farther. So we want to believe that if we bring all these people who are doing small businesses into their business associations, they will have a voice within the association. Government can identify them easily if there's a program of intervention, and that is what the government of Prince Otu is already organizing. So that when he wants to implement his people's first agenda, he will know the people he is targeting. He will be able to say, okay, when I came in, I met small and medium enterprises at this level. I have taken them in the next 3 years. Where do I want to see them be? He has to measure where he will take them. And then there will be a kind of evaluation that is to be done to know whether the people are making progress or not. And that is how we can grow our economy. That is how we can take the people along, and that is how we can fortify the art of governance and make it impactful on the people.
All right, that's interesting. Like I said every time, Cross River State is the only state we have, and it's our collective responsibility to ensure that we move Cross River from where it is to where it ought to be. Ntufa Fidelis has been involved at all levels. I expect this kind of participation, this kind of involvement from all Cross Riverians, so that together we move Cross River forward. Stay with us, we'll be back in a jiffy. This is Inside Cross River, and we are talking about Cross River State. We've been doing a critical analysis of this administration of Senator Prince Bassey II, who has been leaving no stone unturned to ensure that he gets it right. My name is Zakpala, the program is Inside Cross River, and my guest today has been Ntufa Fidelis. So I want to get your own opinion on our all-important, dispensation called the season of sweetness. What is your own interpretation of the season of sweetness? How is that kind of season supposed to be like?
Season of sweetness.
Sure.
Season of sweetness is describing the personality of His Excellency the Governor of Cross River State.
Okay.
Season of sweetness means a man with a good heart.
Okay.
A man who has the feeling of the people he leads. That is the meaning of sweetness.
Okay.
And that is why whatever he's doing, he gives emphasis on what touches the people.
Right.
Because what touches the people touches him directly.
Right.
Everybody knows that he has been in public office for a while. While in public office, he never sought to acquire an amass wealth for himself. Whatever he had, he gave more to the people and less to himself. That is the meaning of a selfless leader. Okay. So such a leader is now the governor of Cross River State. So the season of sweetness for Cross Riverians is here. Every plan that he is making is to bring out that sweetness in the form that the people will know that indeed we have entered our season of sweetness.
I like that. All right, so this season has to be collectively sweet. All right, so we have a governor who started sustainable empowerment.
Yes.
And we also now have a governor who has come to say that palliatives has to be sustainable.
Yes.
All right, so I don't know, based on this your review committee and all the committees you've been sharing, all this situational analysis, now talking about this palliative initiative, is it actually getting to the people who need it the most, or is it just a political statement?
No, it's not a political statement. I am not competent to talk about sharing of palliatives. I do not work with SEMA, I don't know how they do their things. But I know that some of the shake-up that we had in SEMA has to do with the people complaining that they are not getting what they are supposed to get, or they have been shortchanged one way or the other. And the governor, being a people's governor that listens to the people that he serves, he quickly addressed it. He said, okay, if the person I put there cannot address these issues, I will change the person, because my interest is to ensure that my people are happy. That is precisely what has happened. So I believe that the palliatives are going on well. After we had that initial hiccup, we have not had any other issue, which means things are moving on fine.
All right.
I am not one of those people who will look for palliatives. But if I have palliatives, I give it to others, because I am part of the season of sweetness.
So individuals that have to add to the sweetness.
Yes.
It's not just government.
No.
Okay, so that's the part that the people need to understand.
Yes.
That's interesting. All right, let's go back to this assignment that you've been given. What is the scope of the assignment? For how long is it going to take place, and what is involved? What is entailed in the assignment specifically?
Well, from my own understanding of the kind of assignment that we are given, that was announced that we should review extant laws, policies, and all that.
Okay.
The way I understand it is something that will take us not less than about 6 months.
Wow.
If we have to do a comprehensive job.
Okay.
And it cuts across all sectors of governance.
Okay.
If we are to recommend a policy, my thinking is that we should also come up with an implementation plan.
Okay.
Because if you have a policy and you do not have an implementation plan, the tendency is that those you give the policy to, they look at it as a big document, they will not be able to read it. They keep it aside and say, let's all do things the way we have been doing them. Okay. But if you have an implementation plan is reducing the policy into a simple format that can be interpreted easily and implemented.
Sure.
So we are going to do that.
Okay.
Under this assignment, I will insist that that is done, because that is the only way we will ensure that whatever policies we review and whatever we put down, people can have another document that will tell them how to implement and get results.
All right, so talking about implementation, based on all you've done from the review to the review committee to date, has all those suggestions been implemented so far?
Some yes, others is going to come out by the time we finish the fresh assignment we are giving. Okay. The government believes that they must put certain things in place so that when you appoint people, they know precisely what they're expected to do.
All right.
Not to just appoint somebody because he wants to have food on the table.
Yeah.
We want to make people to be able to feed themselves, not to put food on the table for them to come and eat.
All right.
So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
So by the time appointments are fully released and people are told what they ought to do, then we will see exactly what we're expected to.
In a people's first administration,
yes,
being that the people are a priority, so what will would be that advice you can give to the public servant, the commissioner, the special advisor, the director general, based on what has happened with SEMA, for them to know how to move forward, how not to behave, and what to do in the season of sweetness and in the People's First government?
I would want to pass this message. Things are not the same any longer. A period when people think that when you're in a public office, you have become an oga is over. Okay. A public servant is a servant of the people. He's not the boss. So if you don't know what you are doing, I do not think the government will have any need to keep you wasting government's time. Okay. I believe that by the time we finish what we are doing, we will get appointees of government to sign a contract with government.
Sure.
The contract is that this is what I'll deliver as an occupant of a particular office. If I am not able to deliver it, governor, sack me. So you determine your own tenure.
Exactly.
If you perform well, you don't have any problem. But if you do not perform well and the people first are complaining about you, government has no reason to continue to keep you. The example that was set in SEMA is going to go around. Okay. So no commissioner should think that because I'm commissioner, I am invincible. No. Your continuous stay in office will be a function of your performance in that office. Okay. If you are not able to deliver, you are not able to add value to the administration, of course you will give way to others.
And so there will not be any exception to the rule?
No exception to the rule.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Why have we not done this earlier?
It's never late. We can start anytime.
I like this kind of analysis, because I know that when people know that they have signed that contract, they'll be on their toes.
Yes.
You don't even need to even track anybody's progress.
Nothing.
People will not be the ones to determine what they want to do.
Yes.
All right, so the program remains Inside Cross River, and I've been talking to my father. It's been a very, very informative, revealing conversation, and I know this will help a lot of people out there to better understand the administration of Governor Bassey 82, and of course to know how to be a part of the process for us to move Cross River State forward. Let's critically now look at the way forward for Cross River State.
Yeah,
the people themselves. Now, irrespective of the fact that the governor is being people-oriented, the people are becoming the focus on all of that. What should be the role of the people?
The people, my advice to the people of Cross River State is, you have a governor that has the people at heart. Everybody should also key into his vision. Because if you key into his vision, you give him courage to deliver what he has for the people. It is not his vision alone, it's the collective vision of every Cross River area. Wherever we are, whether you are in business, you are in politics, or you are in the public service, you are civil service, in Abuja, in Cross River State, you are a private businessman, as far as you are from Cross River State, whatever you can contribute to making the state a better place for all of us, the present administration is open to such ideas. Okay.
So my next question is, what if the people themselves decide to default? Are the people also going to be spared? Well, because you want to make life better for the people, and the people take advantage of that. What happens in a situation like that?
We are not a military regime, we're a democratic setup.
Okay.
And if the people on their own say we do not want a particular thing, we cannot impose it on them. Rather, what we'll do is that we will democratically engage them and say, what is it that you want that you think is better for you? And once they say this is what we want, that is what we will do.
Okay, I like that.
Yes.
That's interesting. So that is a wake-up call to all perseverers and everybody out there.
All hands must be
on deck. Yes. All right, that's interesting. But then I want to understand. I want to ask this question, because every single governor that has piloted the affairs of Cross River has always been dragged, insulted, humiliated. there was a time where people were saying that Governor Ileliboke was a sleeping governor. Ayade came, they say he's shocking governor. Prince Bassey said that the two is still sweet right now. I'm sure in the next 2 years there will be something. So I know, you know, there's this notion that Cross River is an atomistic society that is perpetually at war with itself. Now, how do we change this mindset reorientation, these ethical core values? How do we change it?
Well, it is you must understand that we're in a political system.
Sure.
Some of these stories and name calling and all that, they are generated by opposition parties in order to justify their aspiration to take over government. They would like to destroy the person that is there, so that they will tell you he's not doing well, he's sleeping, or he's awake, or he's choking, or whatever. And they will even mention they must look for something to say, so that they will use that to talk to the electorate. But I can assure you, we will not allow that. We will be equal to the task.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I like that.
We will be equal to the task.
All right.
Whoever wants to come up with anything that you want to talk about the administration is equipped enough to handle such situation.
All right.
We want to usher in a period of fresh air for Cross River State.
Allow the government to breathe.
Yes.
And the government is
allow
allowing
the people to breathe.
It's collective. All right, so thank you very much for being a part of this impactful and thought-provoking conversation with Ntofam Fidelis Ugo. So before we go, I would like you to comment briefly on the 10th Assembly in Cross River State. What is your own personal opinion?
Well, the 10th Assembly is just taking off. Everything is a learning process. We see them as vibrant young men and women who can do this state great by the contributions they will make in their legislative assignment. And we look forward that they will know that carrying out legislative function requires a lot of training. So they should be able to get the appropriate training so that they can serve the people of Cross River State well. Because you cannot give what you do not have.
Sure.
That is the advice I will give to our 10th Assembly.
All right, so let's go to the North. We need to talk about the North in particular. You are the chairman of Advisory Council, right? So how is the North? Now, you know, in the presidential election, the North didn't do well, and a lot of people are holding that against the North.
Yes.
Now, they had a comeback in the governorship election. Now, my next question is, are we now saying that the North has been able to rejig the system to such a state that the North can be said to be together to change the narrative?
The North has regrouped. When we make mistakes, we learn. It's unfortunate that during the last administration, we didn't have a strong, united force from the North behind my brother and former governor to be able to give him critical analysis of what is going on in the North. A lot of people that were working with him, yes, some meant well, some not very well, and they did not help him out. I'm sure they must have told him that, don't worry, we are with you, everybody, you can leave them out, but no. That is why when we noticed that we had that snag during the presidential election, we quickly called ourselves together. I was part of the team that organized that meeting in the North. And after that, there was an improvement during the governorship election. And after we finished that, we said, well, the North, we have come a long way, we should not go back to the Egyptians we saw yesterday, we'll see them no more. We must put ourselves together.
Sure.
So we have now put ourselves together as a unit. And the unity of the North, I can assure you, is very guaranteed. The leaders of the North are working together. We will show our strength. We will not disappoint the administration of the state and also the party, the APC that we belong. We are solid and we will make sure that we deliver.
All right.
Thank you.
That's interesting. Okay, so can you briefly give us a little update on the meeting, the interface of the advisory council with the governor? How did that play out?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I am sure that the governor was very excited that these people that they think they are not united, look at them coming together in this format. Mm. And he was excited and he said, look, you come to inform me that you want to receive your son, who is my subordinate, the deputy governor. Sure. I am happy about it. I will make myself available to come and also support him and all that. So he's excited and he's looking up to us. Right. The plans are on. We just need to take a date, and after we take a date, we will make it known to everybody, because we want to tell the entire Cross River State that the North has arrived.
The North has arrived. I love that. The North has arrived. I'm part of the North, and this is our leader in the North. So invariably, the North is together, and they're going to showcase that by putting up a common front. Would you say your party, the APC, has given Nigerians the change they promised? Because I'm asking this question because you were the secretary of the publicity committee during the presidential campaigns. So are we in perspective, in spite of the cost of living crisis we are having right now?
We are perfectly in order.
Okay.
Yes, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step.
Okay.
The APC has done 8 years under Buhari.
Okay.
Ashiwaju is a strategic planner and he is on the saddle.
Okay.
God loves Nigeria. That is why he gave us Ashiwaju.
Okay.
And by the time he does only 4 years in Nigeria, 4 years, people will be urging him to please continue.
Continue. All right.
Because I know that there will be fundamental reforms and a lot of changes will come. Okay. People will be happy. Right. Certain decisions that other administrations were shy from taking, he has been bold and he took those decisions without looking back. Right. And that is how a leader should act. Okay, so we are getting somewhere. Right. The APC is taking Nigeria somewhere. Right. Under APC, Nigeria will not be the same again. We will be known for good.
Amen. I say amen to that.
We are not saying that we want to be a one-party state
sure,
or a one-party nation. We must have opposition because opposition helps the government in power to sit up. We want to have that, but we are saying let it be healthy opposition.
All right. So lastly, to all perseverance out there, because the program is inside Cross River, what would be your specific message to them?
Perseverance, I want to use this opportunity to wish all of you a very prosperous New Year 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. It's a privilege to have this thought-provoking interaction with you. Thank you for the revelations. Thank you for your support for the Senator Prince Bassey, the two-led administration. And thank you, because they say a success story must have successors. Yes. And you've been one leader in Cross River State, and of course in Nigeria that has a lot of successors, a lot of mentees that are impacting this knowledge. Thank you very much. It's a privilege. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so like I said to you, in this Cross River State, we let you know everything. All right, so if there's anything that you're not clear on, we give you the clarity. That's why we bring those people at the helm of affairs, those people who are the one piloting the affairs of governance in this dispensation, to come talk to us about what is going on in government and how you can have a buy-in. That is the essence of this program inside Cross River. My name remains Biti Zakpala. Don't forget, Cross River is the only state we have. Wherever you go, be a good ambassador of Cross River State by putting your best foot forward. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.